Have you ever engaged in a serious debate over which is better, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings? Have you ever played Smash or Pass using only characters from Star Wars and Marvel movies? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we have the podcast for you. Listen to the Steam Gentlemen, the podcast where an expert panel convenes to ask the questions about pop culture and social commentary that other podcasts are afraid to ask. Listen to the Steam Gentlemen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, Wrestling Fans International Association is back. That's right, the premier fan club association of the 1970s and 1980s has been revived and is back in business. Join today. It's free at thewfia.org. That's thewfia.org. You can also join us on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/WFIA 1969. Welcome back, everybody, to the 1987 Supermod. I am Brad Drake, and this is the World Wrestling Federation as we continue on with the live event tour. Tonight, the WWF has traveled to Detroit, Michigan, and we are in the Joe Louis Arena. All right, so we got that out of the way. We will not be on television. We will not be on television, so no need for that. Nobody is out except of who we expect to be out. Let's take a look at our backstage incidents. And we have some protege work between Ken Patera and Al Navarro and his terrific, and I do mean terrific, mullet. All right, let's take a look at our card for tonight. Everybody from Detroit, Michigan. In our opener, we're going to see Frenchy Martin against Brady Boone. Barry Horowitz and Steve Lombardi will face Scott Casey and Sivi. SD Jones is going to battle Sika. Brad Rheingans is going to face Bob Orton. Superstar Billy Graham will face the Natural Butch Reed. Kamala is going to battle Jake the Snake Roberts. King Kong Bundy will mix it up with Billy Jack Haynes. Ken Patera, the world's strongest man, will face the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Ricky, the Dragon Steamboat, is going to challenge the Honky Tonk Man for the Intercontinental Heavyweight title. And in our main event, everybody, the British Bulldogs will challenge the Hart Foundation for the World Tag Team title. As always, the asterisk indicates matches that were not on the card, but were added to fill out this card. That's usually in the case of injury or a wrestler just not being available. Tonight is an exciting card, though, as we have two title matches booked for this evening, which is a rarity in the World Wrestling Federation. As you can see, it wasn't really booked that way to begin with. But with all that said, let's get to booking. And here we go. Frenchy Martin against Brady Boone in the opener. And Frenchy Martin's getting in some work here. And for some reason, I picked a tag match. All right, we'll change that. Here is Frenchy Martin. Here is Brady Boone. This guy looked like $1 million, lightning fast, just a smaller wrestler. And I was just listening to a podcast with the Warlord who says that Brady Boone had the smelliest armpits of all time. Now, who knows? He said thinks it's some kind of genetic disorder that Brady Boone had. But I found that humorous, and every time I think of Brady Boone now, I'm going to think of that. All right. Up next here, we have Barry Horowitz and Steve Lombardi. And they, of course, are facing the odd team of Scott Casey and Sivi. So Horowitz and Lombardi versus Afi and Casey. All right, so here's Barry Horowitz. Here is Steve Lombardi. Here is Siva, and here is Cowboy Scott Casey. Man, that causes a lot of problems. He's got a book out. If you've read it, let us know what you think of it. I haven't read it. We're going to give the win here to Sivi, and this one's in the books. All right, our third bout for the evening, SD Jones against Sika. And SD Jones is getting in some work again here, which is good for him. Jones versus Sika. Here is SD, speedy delivery, or special delivery, sorry. Special delivery. And here's his opponent, the Wild Samoan Sika. Sika is going to get the victory, and this one is also in the books. Up next here, Brad Rheingans against Bob Orton Jr. Of course, they could just call him Bob Orton here in the WWF, and we will do the same. Now, here's Brad Rheingans, and here is Bob Orton. Brad Rheingans is over, very over in this part of the country, and so is Bob Orton Jr. Orton is going to get the win here, everybody. That one should be a pretty good bout, even though it's short. All right, Graham and Reed, they're going to go 10. Billy Graham was not in good shape at this point physically. He looked good. He was having major problems with his hip that was beginning to fail him here. I think this is when he had the hip surgery and then tried to come back in time for Survivor Series, but was injured again. All right, this one, I don't care who's going to win. Either one benefits and neither one loses too much by losing here. So we're going to have this one be a count-out finish. Butch Reed, of course, is in his prime here. One heck of a wrestler. He was scheduled to become Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion before the Honky Tonk Man when Steamboat announced that he was taking time off. But apparently he blew off too many shows and pissed off Vince McMahon, and Honky Tonk Man ended up becoming the champion. And Honky Tonk Man was dependable. So that is exactly why he got the belt and held it as long as he did. Kamala versus Roberts. Of course, as we all know, Gunther has broken that streak. But it was different times, different titles. Honky Tonk Man wasn't only on TV with it. Honky Tonk Man was headlining house shows with it. So that's a little bit of the difference. All right, here is Jake the Snake Roberts in there. And the Snake is going to get the win here. Not the actual snake, but Jake Roberts. All right, one and the same, I guess. All right, Bundy versus Billy Jack Haynes. This one is going to go 14. Bundy versus Haynes. We're going to leave this one open-ended. In real life, this was some kind of gimmick match, like an oddball gimmick match. And Billy Jack Haynes got the win. But we'll leave it open. We'll see what the AI decides to do. No problem. All right, that one is scheduled. Up next, we have Patera and DiBiase. This should be a good one. These two wrestled each other quite often in other promotions. And should be a good match. All right, we're trying to build up DiBiase here. He's brand new. Patera has been doing pretty well in his feud with the Heenan family. So we're going to have DiBiase get the win here. And it's, of course, going to come by manager interference. This one is in the books. All right, moving right along here. Ricky Steamboat and the Honky Tonk Man, they're going to go 18. And here we go. Steamboat versus Honky Tonk Man. We will now enter them in. Here is Ricky Steamboat. Here is Honky. All right, Intercontinental Heavyweight title on the line. And we're going to have Ricky Steamboat get the win. But it's going to come by DQ. So that one's good to go. And now here comes our big main event. And this is a big main event because these two teams were excellent. We're going to have them go 25 minutes here. Here are the British Bulldogs. And they are challenging the Hart Foundation for that World Tag Team title. Title is on the line. And we're going to have the Harts get the win here. Going to come in epic. And they're, of course, going to get the win here dirty by some manager interference. All right, so this one's all set. We're ready to rock and roll. We're about 2.5 hours on the show here, everybody. Here we go. We're going to hit that green button and get started. Martin and Boone get us a 41, 52 for Brady Boone, 50 for Frenchy Martin. Pretty good stuff for an opener. And there we go. The oddball team of Afi and Casey get the win over Horowitz and Lombardi. 41 overall for those two. SD Jones against Sika. Sika hits Jones with that Samoan drop. This one gets a 59 overall. Not bad at all. Rheingans and Orton get an outstanding 81 here as Bob Orton Jr. wins with that sleeper hold. Good match. And you won't see Rheingans getting a score like that in too many other territories. Remember that the WWF at this point is based heavily on popularity. All right, Superstar Graham and Butch Reed. And Billy Graham wins by countout. Good stuff. 79 overall for these two. That's a good match for these two. And Kamala and Jake Roberts get the 78 overall as Jake Roberts slaps the DDT on Kamala. I've been reading Jerry Jarrett's book lately, and he talked about how he turned down Kamala to come wrestle in his territory. And then a while back, he came up with the idea after watching a show on the Discovery Channel about a Dr. Kamala working in Africa, and how he came up with the Kamala gimmick. And look where it went. The man made a lot of money. All right, 78 overall for that one. Bundy against Haynes, and Bundy gets the win over Haynes with that big splash, and that's just fine with me. 76 for these two. Good stuff because Haynes is on his way out. I think he leaves the WWF here soon, so it's good for Bundy to get the win. All right, Patera and DiBiase get an 81 for this match. Told you we get a good score for this one. And DiBiase, of course, wins with that $1 million dream after interference from Virgil. You could probably have the exact same finish that we saw last time. Virgil probably went up there and slugged Patera with a foreign object or hit him in general. DiBiase had the referee busy. He missed the attack on Patera, the blatant attack on Patera. DiBiase turns around. Patera's rocked backwards. He slaps on the $1 million dream. The referee calls it. It's over. 81 overall for these two. Here comes our semi-main. Wow. Great score for this one. 97 and a 78 gets us a 96. Good stuff. So Ricky Steamboat wins the match, but not the title. And here comes our main event. Outstanding score of 99 and well-deserved because these two teams in the ring would give you a 99. They were that darn good. And if you don't believe that, then you don't know what good wrestling is. All right, outstanding score. The Hart Foundation defend that World Tag Team title. We're doing good here. We get a gain in the region. We have to point out Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart. And you know what? We're going to point out Steamboat. Steamboat deserves it. I was going to point out Jimmy Hart, but these three deserve it. All right, so there we go. Great performance, great performance. We're going to make that speech. Bret Hart is pleased. Jim Neidhart is pleased, and Ricky Steamboat is pleased. This one's heading back to the main screen, and we're getting ready up next here, everybody, for Z Channel. All right, so that puts us out in Los Angeles at the Sports Arena. So we'll adjust our spreadsheet accordingly. Delete all this stuff. Remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, right? And that's exactly what we're doing here. So here we go. Get this back to a regular color. Turn this over to yellow. Inside baseball here, everybody. You're getting to see how it's done. All right, so we're dealing with August, September, October. Now, in real life, the WWF was not on the Z channel yet at this point. That would come in 1988. I jumped the gun with it and put it in the game anyway. And although I could be wrong, maybe they were on. I'll look it up. We'll figure it out. All right, let's take a look at our incoming here. 116,000 viewers for Spotlight BS. 4.7 million viewers for Superstars. Yes. Terry Garvin like Steve Lombardi. Imagine that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should. Brady Boone is tired and lack of big names. Nonsense. We got a big score and a gain. All right, everybody, we're back in action next episode for the Z Channel show. So we'll see you then. For those of you that are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and drop us a message below. Let us know how you found the channel and what you think of us so far. For those of you looking for more, you can find it over on patreon.com/PowerCast Network. For just $5, you'll get access to all of our spreadsheets, the version 10.1 of the Supermod. However, in just a couple weeks here, December 1st, version 11 of the Supermod will be released. You will get access to all of this good stuff. And all of our shows are early and YouTube ad-free. And there's so much more on there, everybody. Check it out today. Once again, that's patreon.com/PowerCast Network. Check us out on social media, facebook.com/group/1987Supermod. And don't forget, you can get your free membership to Wrestling Fans International Association today by heading on over to the WFIA.org. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next episode.